It's midnight and you're tuning into Nightline with me, Liyana Hassanel. The top stories. Health Ministry to finalize private GP fee revision within 1 month. And Albanese wins Australian federal election in landslide victory. Good morning. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anar Ibrahim has congratulated his Australian counterpart Anthony Albanese on securing his second term in the country's general election on Saturday. Anar stated that the Labour Party's landslide victory was a clear and confident verdict from the Australian people. In a post on his social media account on Saturday, Anar said that the Albanese government's attention to Southeast Asia during its first term did not go unnoticed and hoped that the spirit of engagement would continue. He added that Malaysia looks forward to working together to uphold stability, enhance resilience, and shape a future of shared prosperity. Earlier, Albanese, Australia's Labour leader, defied the so-called incumbency curse on Saturday to win a second term as Australia's Prime Minister in a landslide victory. While final vote counts are still days away, projections show Labour expanding its majority significantly, with 86 seats well ahead of the coalition's 39. Minor parties and independents are set to claim about 10 seats, with the Greens likely securing 1 or 2. In a rousing victory speech, Albanese said Australians had voted for fairness, opportunity and kindness. His party saw gains across almost every part of the country, a rare result for a second-term government. The outcome marks a major reversal for Albanese, whose popularity had slumped earlier this year amid economic pressures and growing dissatisfaction. Meanwhile, opposition leader Peter Dutton, who lost his own seat after 24 years, has accepted full responsibility and apologized to his party. Back home, the long-awaited amendments to the consultation fees for general practitioners in the private sector are expected to be finalized within a month. Health Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad confirmed that the Cabinet Memorandum and supporting circular have been prepared and expected to be tabled within the same time frame. According to Dr. Zulkifli, once the memorandum is presented and approved by the Cabinet, it will be implemented immediately. He also said that the new fee rates have already been approved by the National Action Council on Cost of Living, NACOL.
Saya akan cuba usahakan selewat-lewatnya. The maximum will be 1 month, but I hope to solve it in 2 weeks. Because soon as jurus saya dah bentang, dah dapat kelulusan, we'll get it.
Dr. Zulkifli said this during a press conference at an event in Kuala Selangor on Saturday. On April 8th, he stated that his ministry was awaiting a decision from the Finance Ministry on the proposed revision of general practitioners' consultation fees, which have remained unchanged for nearly 2 decades. The Malaysian Medical Association, MMA, had previously expressed hope that the consultation fees would be raised to at least 60 ringgit, compared to the current charges ranging from 10 to 35 ringgit. Commenting on MMA's plan to protest the enforcement of the mandatory price display order for medications at pharmacies and private clinics this Tuesday, Dr. Zulkifli urged that the demonstration be conducted peacefully and expressed readiness to receive any memorandum. In another development, Dr. Zulkifli revealed that more than 21,000 illegal health products, including those containing harmful substances, flooded the market last year. More concerning is the fact that these products were being sold openly online and in physical stores without any oversight.
It must be one of the 5 category lah. Antara lain, mereka tidak berdaftar, mereka adalah tiruan counterfeit, dan ada yang dicampurkan dengan bahan-bahan poison, racun, dan ada yang diperolehi daripada sumber yang tidak sah dan yang obat diimport tanpa kelulusan.
He added that 21,571 units of illegal health products valued at over 37 million ringgit were seized last year, marking an increase from the previous year's 20,157 units, which had a value of more than 24 million ringgit. Of these, more than 17,000 were unregistered supplements, while the remainder were cosmetic products. Meanwhile, MMA has urged the Health Ministry to ensure that the revision of consultation fees for general practitioners in the private sector accurately reflects the actual costs incurred by practitioners in operating healthcare institutions. Its president, Datuk Dr. Kalwinder Singh Khaira, also expressed hope that the revision will be completed within a month, as stated by the minister.
It is important to note that whilst everything else related to running a clinic, which includes salaries, overheads, rentals, have increased multiple-fold, the GP consultation fees have remained unchanged. The other thing that we are looking at is the quantum of the increase. The quantum of the increase must also reflect the cost of running a medical practice and also must take into account that it has not been changed for the last 33 years.
He added that the government must also review the implementation of the Price Control and Anti-Profiteering Act 2011 and consider replacing it with the Private Healthcare Facilities and Services Act 1998 whenever matters concerning the medical profession arise. The Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Ministry will continue to monitor egg prices in the market, despite the government's decision to end the egg subsidy. Its Minister, Datuk Armizan Muhammad Ali, said the effort is aimed at preventing traders or any parties from taking advantage of the situation by arbitrarily increasing the price of the essential item. Armizan assured that the reduction in the subsidy from 10 cent to 5 cent per egg, effective from May 1st, followed by complete removal on August 1st, will not lead to a price surge, as eggs will still be subject to price controls. He added that his ministry is also continuously conducting special operations to monitor the supply of eggs. A special committee has also been established to oversee the stability of supply and prices, which meets at least once every 2 months.
Sebelum kerajaan memutuskan keputusan untuk mengurangkan subsidi, telur ini bukan dibuat oleh Kementerian Pertanian secara bersendirian. Dia dibincangkan sudah sekian lama.
Armizan said this to reporters at an event in Papar, Sabah on Saturday. He further stated that his ministry is also committed to responding to all price-related complaints within 24 hours. The construction of a new route connecting the Immigration, Customs, Quarantine and Security ICQS complex in Bukit Kayu Hitam, Kedah, and the Customs, Immigration and Quarantine CIQ complex in Sadao, Thailand, is expected to be completed ahead of schedule. Works Minister Datuk Sri Alexander Nantalinggi revealed this after being briefed by the contractor during his visit to the construction site on Saturday to inspect the project's progress. According to Nanta, the project, valued at over 141 million ringgit, is currently on track for completion as scheduled in September next year.
Saya diberitahu adalah 47%. Ya, dia sedikit ke belakang sikit, tapi saya difahamkan akan dapatlah dicapai ya mengikut jadual peratusannya yang sepatutnya.
In November 2023, Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anar Ibrahim, during his meeting with the then Thai Prime Minister, announced the construction of a new route connecting the Bukit Kayu Hitam ICQS complex and the Sadao CIQ complex. The project includes the construction of a 900-meter dual carriageway with 6 lanes and a 300-meter service road to the Bukit Kayu Hitam General Operations Force GOF Tactical Headquarters. A new building for the 5th Battalion of the Border Regiment is also under construction. The new route is expected to expedite immigration processes and improve traffic flow at the border area. A former Chief Executive Officer, CEO, has been remanded in connection with a false claims case involving approximately 360 million ringgit. The claims were linked to sukuk funds used in a highway construction project worth 1.3 billion ringgit. A 3-day remand order was issued on Saturday by the Putrajaya Magistrates Court against the suspect in his 40s. According to sources, the suspect was detained around 11 p.m. on Friday night when he appeared at the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC headquarters in Putrajaya to provide his statement. Based on initial investigations, the suspect is believed to have been involved in submitting documents containing false details to support claims amounting to around 360 million ringgit. MACC Senior Director of Investigations, Datuk Zainul Darus, confirmed the arrest and said the case is being investigated under Section 18 of the MACC Act. 4 other individuals who were previously remanded in connection with the case have been released on MACC bail. No Malaysians were reported to have been affected by the severe weather that affected New Zealand, particularly in the Wellington and Canterbury regions. The Foreign Ministry said it is monitoring the situation and has urged Malaysians in the affected areas to remain vigilant, stay informed, and take all necessary precautions. In an advisory on Saturday, Wisma Putra stated that the Malaysian High Commission in Wellington is in contact with local authorities to ensure the safety and well-being of Malaysians in the affected areas. Malaysians who require assistance are also advised to contact the High Commission. On Thursday, Wellington experienced its strongest winds in over a decade, leading to school and business closures, as well as numerous flight cancellations. The following day, the New Zealand government announced that the most severe weather warnings had been lifted. However, a state of emergency remains in place for Christchurch City and Selwyn District due to ongoing surface flooding and road closures. 4 injured after steam boiler explodes. This and more after this break.
Aku bekerja dengan company. Company nak aku jaga kampung ni. Selamat datang ke kampung Ketayang. Ada kau batas?
Awak ni trikal tu?
Dialah satu-satunya harapan kita sekarang.
Company akan ambil alih perniagaan biji timah.
Dia nak suruh kami semua lawan askar Belanda tu?
Bukan askar Belanda, tapi 6 jilaka.
Wanita hebat tidak pernah menunggu tetapi membina sayap sendiri untuk terbang lebih tinggi.
Tidak semua orang menerima aku dengan baik. Tapi aku selalu memberikan yang terbaik dalam setiap usaha yang aku lakukan gitu.
Saya dapat jadi kostum designer pertama di Malaysia dan dapat bekerja dengan international.
Syuka Sanaa dah siap. Kita makan dengan roti Arab.
Nona di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Lepas jatuh tu, saya waktu tu, bila jatuh saya tu bangun macam biasa, maknanya tak ada apa-apa lagi lah. Dan selang beberapa hari lepas tu kan, saya pun rasa macam badan dah jalan dah tak betul dah. Pergi dapatkan pengesahan doktor. Hasil daripada tu, doktor mengesahkan bahawa tulang terhimpit, saraf terhimpit, tulang ni yang mengimpitkan saraf.
Jeragat dan kedutan makin jelas.
Bila kita panggil static wrinkle, maksudnya you tak kedut pun you dah nampak dah kedut tu. Itulah tanda-tanda penuaan.
Adakah proses penuaan boleh dilengahkan?
Sakit tu kena faham basic asas penjagaan iaitu perlindungan daripada faktor-faktor yang memberi makan tu penting.
Jeragat dan kedutan kami bawakan dalam Hello Doktor Ahad 5.30 petang di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Welcome back. An elderly woman has become the second fatality of a road accident that claimed the life of her grandson in Kota Tinggi, Johor on Friday evening. It was reported initially that 1 person had died and 10 others were injured in the collision, which involved 3 vehicles. The accident occurred at around 7 p.m. on the Johor Bahru Mersing Road. involving a car and 2 SUVs. 10-year-old Muhammad Zarif Abdullah died at the scene from severe head injuries, while his 87-year-old grandmother, Zubaidah Mahat, passed away early Saturday morning while receiving treatment at Sultan Ismail Hospital. Kota Tinggi Police Chief Superintendent Yusuf Othman said both victims were among 5 passengers in a car driven by a 47-year-old woman. The car is believed to have lost control and veered into the opposite lane before colliding with the 2 SUVs. The first SUV was carrying 6 people, aged between 3 and 54, while the second was driven by a 33-year-old man. All those injured were taken to Kota Tinggi Hospital and Sultan Ismail Hospital for treatment. The bodies of Muhammad Zarif and Zubaidah were brought back to their hometown in Tanjung Gemuk, Rompin for burial. The accident is being investigated under the Road Transport Act. In Selangor, 4 workers were injured after a steam boiler exploded at a palm oil mill in Bestari Jaya on Saturday. The blast caused all 4 victims, aged between their 20s and 30s, to suffer burns to their legs. Selangor Fire and Rescue Department Assistant Director of Operations, Ahmad Mukhlis Mukhtar, said a team of 4 firefighters from the Bestari Jaya Fire and Rescue Station was dispatched to the scene after they were alerted to the incident at around 9:11 a.m. Initial investigations revealed that the explosion occurred when the workers were conducting water heating tasks using the steam boiler for the mill's operations. The fire was extinguished before firefighters arrived at the mill. The victims were sent to the Tanjong Karang Hospital for treatment. One of the victims, 29-year-old Pavitran Mohan, is currently receiving treatment in the hospital's red zone, while the remaining victims, 2 Nepalese nationals and 1 Bangladeshi, are being treated in the yellow zone. The discovery of human skeletal remains, including a skull in Bera, Pahang, is believed to have solved the case of a 48-year-old man who was reported missing in July last year. The remains were found in Felda Bukit Mandi at around 4 p.m. on Friday by a settler who was clearing the bushes behind his house. District Police Chief Superintendent Zulkifli Nazir on Saturday stated that a shirt, trousers, a jacket and an old mobile phone were also found near the remains. The settler initially informed a friend about the discovery before they decided to lodge a police report. The remains were sent to the Bera Hospital's forensic unit for DNA testing and to identify the cause of death. In July last year, police received a missing person report involving a 48-year-old man from Felda Bukit Mandi. Close family members have confirmed that the remains belong to the missing man based on the clothing found in the area. However, authorities are waiting for further confirmation from the hospital. Seven killed, dozens injured in Stampede. The details when Nightline returns.
Lepas jatuh tu, saya waktu tu, bila jatuh saya tu bangun macam biasa, maknanya tak ada apa-apa lagi lah. Dan selang beberapa hari lepas tu kan, saya pun rasa macam badan dah jalan dah tak betul dah. Pergi dapatkan pengesahan doktor. Hasil daripada tu, doktor mengesahkan bahawa tulang terhimpit, saraf terhimpit, tulang ni yang mengimpitkan saraf.
Jubun jeli ni warna dia tu nak biru, nak purple, kadang-kadang raw dia tu nak pink pun ada.
Alhamdulillah ye, bagi bersih ye.
Batu kecubun ni dia permata. Nilai dia lebih tinggi daripada emas.
Di makmal kesihatan Huawei ini, barisan penyelidik dan juga petugas kesihatan melakukan pelbagai ujian dan juga evolusi inovasi kesihatan bertaraf dunia.
Tanyalah Ustaz minggu ini Isnin, ipar dan batas syarak. Selasa, kesempurnaan ibadah. Rabu, menjadi insan bersyukur. Khamis, subuh yang unik. Jumaat, perihnya ibu bersalin. Sabtu, munculnya dabbatul ard. Ahad, pimpin tanganku ke syurga. Tanyalah Ustaz biar tahu, jangan keliru di TV3 dan TV9.
Apa yang berlaku umat akhir zaman ini, kita kena usaha untuk menjadi umat sebaik-baik ummah.
Bagaimana kita nak membalas rasa syukur dan terima kasih kita kepada Nabi besar kita, Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Untungnya umat Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, kalau berdasarkan dalam hadis Bukhari itu nanti, kita akan dibantu oleh baginda Rasulullah, kerana Allah ini mahu kemudahan untuk kita. Allah tidak pernah mahu untuk memberikan kepayahan kepada kita.
The foreign news. Singapore has concluded its 2025 general election on Saturday, marking the first major electoral test for Prime Minister Lawrence Wong since succeeding Lee Hsien Loong last year. The ruling People's Action Party, PAP, has claimed its first win of the night in Radin Mas SMC, securing 69.17% of the vote. Early sample counts show the PAP leading in several key battlegrounds, including Punggol GRC, West Coast Jurong West GRC, East Coast GRC, and Bukit Panjang SMC. However, the Opposition Workers' Party is holding ground in its strongholds, leading in Aljunied GRC, Sengkang GRC, and Hougang SMC. Meanwhile, more official results are expected through the night, with full results anticipated by early Sunday. Indian authorities on Saturday said 7 people were crushed to death at a Hindu temple after thousands gathered for a popular fire-walking ritual in Goa. The stampede occurred around 3 a.m. local time at a temple in Bicholi, where thousands of devotees had gathered for the ritual, which began on Friday. Among the injured, at least 10 people remain in critical condition, as officials announced that an inquiry would be conducted into the stampede. According to authorities, while the circumstances are not yet clear, it appeared that one person fell on a steep slope near the approach road of the temple, which then led to a stampede. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed his condolences and said that the local administration is helping the affected. In other news, gunmen carried out 2 deadly shooting attacks in South Thailand on Friday, leaving 4 people dead and injuring several others. The first incident occurred at approximately 3:25 p.m. local time in the Chanai district. An elderly woman was shot dead at the scene, while a man sustained critical injuries after being shot in the right rib. Later the same evening at 7:38 p.m., another shooting took place at a residence in the Tetak Bai district. A 46-year-old man, a 9-year-old girl, and a 59-year-old man were confirmed dead. Authorities are still continuing the investigations as forensic teams were scheduled to revisit both scenes on Saturday to collect further evidence. Israel launched about 20 airstrikes on Syria late on Friday in what the country's new rulers brand as a dangerous escalation. According to local media, Israeli airstrikes were reported near Damascus and in the west, as well as in Dara in the south. It added that 1 civilian was killed at Harasta near Damascus, and 4 others were wounded near Hama. Authorities said Israel's hit to the targets across Syria were the heaviest bombardment so far this year. The latest wave of strikes also came hours after Israel targeted an area near the Syrian presidential palace. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Israel Katz said the attack was intended to send a message to the nascent Syrian government against deploying forces south of Damascus. Switching to sports now, squash, the 2025 Bermuda Open in Devonshire. 2-time national champion Ira Azman stormed into the final after battling back from a game down to beat her elder sister Aifa on Friday. The 20-year-old top seed recovered from a slow start, before rallying to defeat 4th seed IFA 4-11, 11-4, 11-8, 11-6 in 31 minutes. Ira continued her winning streak against her older sister, following their last meeting on the PSA Tour at the Australian Open last year, which Ira also won in 4 sets. She will face world number 38 Hana Moataz in Saturday's final, after the Egyptian edged past compatriot Amina Al-Rihani 7-11, 11-7, 7-11, 11-7, 11-9. The match will be their first ever encounter, with the advantage favoring Ira, who is ranked 30th in the world, compared to Moataz, who holds the 38th position. On to badminton, the 2025 Sudirman Cup in Xiamen, China. Defending champions China advanced to the final with a commanding 3-0 victory over Japan on Saturday, captivating the home crowd as they close in on a record-extending 14th title. China's world number 2 mixed doubles pair Feng Yanzhou Huang Dongping set the tone, beating Hiroki Midorikawa Arisa Igarashi 21-11, 21-17 in the opener. Top seed Shi Yuqi then crushed 8th-ranked Kodai Naraoka 21-8, 21-16 in the men's singles to hand China a 2-0 lead. Japan showed resilience in the women's singles, where Akane Yamaguchi, who had won 21 of her previous 33 encounters with Chen Yufei, pushed the Tokyo Games champion to 3 games. But Yufei held her nerve to prevail 17-21, 21-9, 21-16. China, who have won the biennial mixed team championship 13 times, will meet 4 times champion South Korea for the trophy. Turning to tennis, the 2025 Madrid Open. Britain's Jack Draper ousted Italian Lorenzo Musetti on Friday to set up a title showdown with Norwegian Casper Ruud, who overcame a rib issue to book his final ticket. Draper, who will overtake Novak Djokovic and make his debut as a top 5 player on Monday, is yet to drop a set in the Spanish capital, as he defeated Italy's Lorenzo Musetti 6-3, 7-6 in the semi-finals. The match saw the 23-year-old lefty fire 20 winners against 19 unforced errors in a high-quality 2-hour showdown with the Italian. Earlier in Madrid, Ruud squeezed into the 25th tour-level final of his career with a 6-4, 7-5 victory over Argentine Francisco Cerundolo. Ruud, who required a medical timeout due to chest and back discomfort, saved 15 of 18 break points during his 1-hour, 54-minute match against Cerundolo. For the record, the Norwegian had lost his previous Masters 1000 finals at 2024 Monte Carlo and 2022 Miami Open, making this his 3rd attempt at claiming a title at this level. Moving on to golf now, the 2025 LIV South Korea. 2-time U.S. Open champion Bryson DeChambeau leads the event in Incheon after he shot a 6 under 66 in the second round on Saturday to reach 13 under par. The big-hitting American has a 4-stroke lead over Richard Bland heading into Sunday's final round. DeChambeau has not made a bogey all week. The tournament marks LIV's first visit to South Korea, with the Asian nation becoming the 10th country to play host. It also represents the halfway point of the 2025 season, with 6 regular season tournaments and the Michigan Team Championship scheduled for the second half of the year. A total of 54 players are competing across 13 teams of 4, along with 2 wildcards in the 2-day event. This time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at the Gold Coast Pro competition in Australia, where surfers from around the world showcase a powerful blend of smooth rail surfing and their signature aerial maneuvers. With that, I'm Hassanel. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your weekend.